that line the entire tract. We want them to be tight, and we want them to be full and healthy. What happens when we are not feeding our bodies the things that they need in order to heal, to regenerate from the constant barrage of damage that they are inflicted with? They start to break down. And things get in between those cells that shouldn't be there. So we really want to maintain that nice, healthy lining. What do you think is one of the best things to eat to maintain healthy, the actual tissues of the gut?
Oh,
That's great. Fiber, any kind of fiber, yes. There's no such thing as a superfood, but if there was, it would be a dark leafy green. That's cruciferous. Broccoli sprouts are as close to a superfood as you can get. Broccoli sprouts. They're the concentrated form of dark leafy greens. If you are not getting at least 3 handfuls, big handfuls of dark leafy greens, hopefully cruciferous, I'll tell you what that is in just a second, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. We recommend 6. It's a lot, especially if you're not used to eating those greens. Which of the veggies are cruciferous? I feel like this is probably not.
spinach.
Broccoli.
All the cabbage families, so Brussels sprouts, cabbage, kale, watercress, horseradish. I mean, all of those gorgeous, they have a little bit of a sharp hit to them. Those broccoli and cauliflower, absolutely, yes, yes. So we want to be getting in those on a regular basis.
Not spinach.
Not spinach. So spinach is fantastic. Spinach is a leafy green. It has got good stuff in it, and it's what I call a really easy starter green. It's something that people can eat quite easily because it's light, especially the baby ones are a little bit sweet and delicious, easier to throw in stuff. At least 3 cups. If you take away nothing else from what I'm saying today, apart from the fiber thing, 3 cups, at least 3 cups of dark leafy greens. And that includes cauliflower and broccoli. So, high fiber foods, cruciferous greens, high zinc foods. So, not necessarily taking zinc. You want to be really careful with minerals in supplement form. Very, very, very careful with that. But high zinc foods like your legumes, lentils, for example, turmeric. Anybody heard of the benefits of turmeric specifically? So, if you are not interested in changing anything about what you eat, but you have pain in your body, find a way to get some turmeric in there with a little pinch of pepper. A pinch of pepper is absolutely crucial. It is magical stuff. The most potent antioxidant-rich foods are our spices, and the next in line are our berries. So getting in those on a daily basis is a very, very good idea. Careful if you're taking medication. And make it a nice variety of the fiber-filled foods. Feel free to interrupt me if you have a question.
Yeah, I have a question. Does the pepper, does that activate the tumor?
It does, like by 1,000%. So it really increases the potency of it. Don't forget the pepper, it's absolutely crucial. So if you're looking at like a tea or something that has turmeric in it, just make sure it either has pepper or pepperine. Either that will work. So this gentleman here had a question behind you?
Same question.
Same question. And over there? Sorry? So it's not actually a diagnosis, but researchers believe that it's related to things like autoimmune disorders, possibly food sensitivities, allergies, that sort of thing. So if you're suffering with gut issues and all of those things, likely you have leaky gut. So the most important thing is healing and prevention. And healing and prevention for all of the things that most of us are suffering with is the same. You need specific components in order to heal. Now, if you have a specific allergy that creates anaphylaxis in your body, then you're going to want to be avoiding that, whatever that is. But for the most part, our nutritional requirements are very, very similar, and we just tweak them. As I said right at the beginning, we tweak them for the individual. But we want to get in those dark leafy greens. We want to be eating a lot of fiber-filled foods. Dark leafy greens is one of the best ones.
What kind of pepper?
Black pepper. It's just a pinch. You don't need a whole lot of it, but black pepper. Yeah. Did you have a question?
All of us.
Okay, you're all done.
For you're saying for like the 6 cups, for the how is it the day? You're looking at the 3 cups
Every day.
every
everyday food comes from.
So the question was the 3 to 6 cups. That is every day. So how do you do that? You eat veggies at every meal. That's the way we should be doing it anyway. I also do a smoothie. That makes it super easy. I feel like I started the day well. I'll put 80% of my blender is green.
So if you ferment, it's not necessarily using pepper, or the fermentation process allow it to be more bitter? Or
So yeah, we're actually going to talk about fermentation, but I would still add pepper. Yeah.
She has a.
Oh, sorry.
I wanted to add to the leaky gut thing. It's not just, it leads to inflammation,
Okay.
it leads to neurological issues. When you're overweight, that is inflammation in your overall body. It brain stuff, I mean, I've spent 2 or 3 years following what you're talking about exactly. Inflammation comes in all different forms depending on your weaknesses in your own bodies. And so just that leaking through the cell wall, the single line of cells that line your gut, is what leads to all of these other issues too.
So if we have a fire in our home, our house is on fire, bad, like every single wall is on fire. Are we going to worry about cleaning the kitchen? We're going to put out that fire. So if all of your body's energy is put towards managing the constant barrage of damage that we do, I'm sorry, it's us. We do this on a daily basis, 3 times a day, sometimes more. Then it doesn't have a chance to get ahead of that fire. There's some specific anti-inflammatory foods. If you're interested in doing some rapid healing, there's some really good stuff out there. Turmeric, the greens, all of the herbs and spices. Those are some really, really good things to get in on a daily basis. It is. Arugula is a cruciferous vegetable. Yes. Yes. So watch out for your medications. As I said, pain relievers. Sometimes some of us are in pain. You have to manage the pain. But if you don't need to take it, be mindful of NSAIDs. Alcohol kills bacteria. Do I still have an occasional glass of wine? Absolutely. But you want to think about what that's doing to your body. If you are going to make a decision like that, if you're going to put something into your body that you know is harmful, don't do it mindlessly. Do it with full intention. Protect your body before and after. Your birthday's coming up. You want a piece of cake? Great. Realize that's going to happen. Do it with intention. Decide. Don't feel guilty. Blame, shame, and guilt are counterproductive to good health. Intentional decisions. Good stuff before, good stuff after. Get back on track. There was another hand raised. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have 2 questions. One is, when you're talking about consuming these high-fiber foods, are you thinking raw, or are you thinking cooked, or how is there a difference?
Excellent question. So raw veggies are great, but actually I don't recommend all raw. Some people do really well on an all raw diet, but here's the thing. So you're missing out on some really important nutrients by going all raw. One, has anybody heard of the blue zones?
Yeah.
Blue zones? Okay. The 5 areas of the world, unfortunately, are becoming more and more westernized, but the 5 areas of the world where they did this study, Dan Buettner, they figured out what they all had in common. They were in very different parts of the world, very different cultures. Number 1, in terms of what they had in common, was good social connections. You thought I was going to say greens, didn't you? No, good social connections. The community is hugely important to your good health. That's one of the tenets of lifestyle medicine as well. A good support system and just good connection with your community, working together. What are we all doing here? We're all learning from our community, right? This is beautiful. We are improving our health just by sitting here right now. Number 2, beans. They all consumed a high level of beans, at least a cup of beans every day. Now, if you're not a champion bean eater, you're going to want to do that slowly, trust me. Your microbiome needs a chance to catch up. So I get a lot of people saying, oh, I can't eat beans. Yeah, I was in the same boat. It was a tablespoon at a time, increased in consistency with my black beans, which were my trouble. And now I can eat a whole can with 0 problems. 0. So you just need your microbiome to catch up. You need those little buddies to be flourishing because they help us to digest our food.
Is it bad to take the enzyme that's probably homopheno, but the alpha
environment in our body that things are working the way that they should, if we can. Now, our body sometimes can't heal 100%. That's just the reality. Once things go to scar tissue, that's about the level where, it stops with healing. But you'd be surprised. Renal diseases, really, really bad cardiovascular disease, diabetes with your blood glucose, fasting blood glucose in the 1100s. I have seen all of this stuff start to reverse. Some people reverse completely out of these diseases. Completely. So just be mindful that we don't get to decide. Our body decides how to prioritize our healing, unfortunately, because everybody would go, I just want to lose the 10 pounds first. But that we don't get to decide that. And give your body time, give your body what it needs in order to heal. You set up that environment, your body's going to work hard. It wants to be well. We want to survive, right? As our lower brain, our lizard brain wants to survive. That's what's keeping us alive. We just got to also engage this one up here, our frontal lobe, to make those decisions that we understand are going to be the best for our bodies. Okay. Oh, stay away from that food additives and high saturated fat. That saturated fat is inextricably linked to diabetes, heart disease, obviously high cholesterol, any of the fatty lipids. Fatty liver is something that is rampant these days. Even without a drop of alcohol, you can have a cirrhotic liver. You can get cirrhosis just by what we eat. So be really careful of those high saturated fats. Okay, let's talk about the microbes themselves. So we've got basically 3 categories that we're most interested in: pre, pro, and post. What do you think are the pros? They're the actual microbes. Think of like sports teams. They're the pros. They're actually in there doing the work. Those are the pros. Pre's. The pre's are what the pros eat. So what are the pre's? They're all those high fiber foods. What is the post? It's the resultant chemicals as a result of the pre's feeding the pros, and then we eat what we eat, and things get converted. So they get converted into helpful chemicals or harmful chemicals, or helpful components or harmful components. So we want to make sure we've got that pre, pro, and then the post. We don't have much control over that. Just happens.
Can you repeat that? Because you mentioned the pre as foods, like the
Yes.
cubes, and the pro as athletes, but what do you mean in regards to
The
foods?
the pros are the actual microbes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so those are the actual little buddies. We love it. Those trillions of little buddies. Thank you. So when I say high fiber, am I talking about this?
No.
Now, I told you I had GI issues my whole life. So that little orange tub and I were really good friends. That stuff is not good for you. Don't eat that stuff unless you absolutely have to, and get off of it as soon as possible. It has side effects. And whenever you come across a box like that, a processed food that says it's high fiber, what do you think is in there? That stuff. Just be really mindful of things that are not. I eat things that have been baked or blended together to turn into something else. I'm not saying you have to pluck it out of the ground and shove it in your face. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is know what's in your food. The 2 most important things: what's in it and how was it made. I have a pantry full of boxes and bags and cans, but I know what's in them and I know how they were made.
I have a question about psyllium husks.
So psyllium is fine, but anytime you have an opportunity just to eat real food, that's going to be the key. There's some contention about whether you should do that on a regular basis. So it's close to a whole food. It's just not, and it's got fiber and it's got nutrients in it. It's just not where we want to focus. We want to focus on that broad variety of beautiful fruits and vegetables and all that kind of stuff.
Question: a lot of diet foods, like the one that you have up there, seem to work for a lot of people to lose weight,
Yes.
but yet they've got the bad fiber in them.
Yes.
So how does that happen?
I'm so happy you asked that question. So as I mentioned, I never mentioned the good news. As I mentioned, I've lost hundreds of pounds over that quarter century and gained all that back plus more. After that, I decided that everybody in my family is big. I'm just meant to be big. And of course, we're all different shapes and sizes. Some of us are tall, some of us are short, some of us are narrow, some of us are curvier, whatever. But here's the thing. When I took that weight loss issue and put it to the side and focused on healing my body, guess what happened? I lost 75 pounds without trying. Our body wants to be fit and well. If you give it what it needs, it will work toward that.
Let's wrap up, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what are the things that we know? We know that fermented foods have actual pros in them. If they're not refrigerated, those pros aren't probably alive. So, sauerkraut, pickles that actually they have to say they've been fermented or have the mother in them. Anything that is fermented, even sourdough bread, which is made with white bread typically, or white flour typically. You can find whole grain sourdough bread. But these ones that are still alive, those are your pros. And because they're attached to fiber, our body can regulate those better than taking a supplement. If you have to take supplements, just take them as needed and in the smallest quantity possible, because they can really throw off your system in a variety of ways. So what are we doing? We're eating the fiber-filled foods. We're watching out for the other things that are not helpful or not benefiting us. There's no such thing as a neutral food. It's either helping or it's harming. We're getting our exercise, we're watching our stress, we're getting lots of good sleep, and we're staying socially connected. Any other final questions as we wrap up? Right here?
I was wondering about the prebiotic, and you said a lot of people this prebiotic and probiotic, refrigerated and all that. Is it necessary to take this in capsule or liquid form?
No. So basically, I'm going to just give you a very, very quick version of supplements. If you're interested in learning more about the issue of supplements, I'm just going to give you the very, very fast version. Stay with me because I'm going to do it quickly. Supplements are unregulated medicine. They are medicine that no one is paying attention to. It's one of the easiest ways to make money. If you've ever read any business books, supplements are the easiest way to make money because no one is paying attention. So be very, very cautious of supplements, even the ones you have to take. Be very particular about what you choose, very particular about how much you take. Take only what you absolutely need that's been proven by some sort of test, or you with a proper licensed healthcare professional. Supplements can be dangerous, frankly. Remember, everything has a toxicity level. If you do not have an iron deficiency, you can poison yourself for taking too much iron. Iron is not something that most people should take. It is something that most people do. Think about dementia and Alzheimer's. It's been linked with the plaques that are found in those tangles. So just be mindful about those supplements. Only take what you need and only take as much as you absolutely have to, and get off of them if you possibly can, and try to nourish yourself with real food.
Where can I find more about everything you're talking about?
So if you go to the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, American College of Lifestyle Medicine, ACLM, it's lifestylemedicine.org. You can learn more about lifestyle medicine there. I also, like I said, I have a free weekly, here's us. I didn't get a chance to show you my before and during. That's us, my very adorable hubby there. But this is my website. If you're interested in getting on the email list and joining our weekly groups, got a couple of different ones you can join. I have other healthcare providers that do free groups too. Money should not stand in the way of good health. Any other final questions before we wrap it up?
Your study group with the cholesterol and blood pressure,
Yeah.
what was the breakdown of your diet recommendations for them? Just the 6 cups a day of the...
Okay, so at least 3 to 6 cups of greens, at least a cup of beans a day, at least a half a cup of berries per day. Some flax, anywhere between a teaspoon and 2 tablespoons of ground flax every day. Half your plate non-starchy veggies, lots of colors, and that's just like the quick and dirty version in terms of nutrition.
So you have